Alrighty, shed update time. A little bit of a change of scenery here. We are in the dungeon down in the basement. For those of you who have not seen, most of you have not seen, this is my basement. We are down here because we are back on the kitchen cabinet project, and it is just a little too cold outside for bondo work. Not too cold for me, but a little too cold for the product. So we are down here where it's 20 degrees warmer than outside, and that is just enough to do some filler work. So I would have liked to have gotten all the cabinets sandblasted, but in the interest of maintaining my own sanity, I am sick and tired of sandblasting, and I need to move forward with something. So here we are. I've gone ahead and gotten these all blasted and scuff sanded with either 60 or 80 grit, I don't quite remember. And I snuck these into work one morning and pulled out most of the larger dents. The dents weren't too radical anyway, but I went ahead and stud welded a few creases, a few dings. This one needed to be shrunk a fair amount. There we go. So all these little specks are where I had to use the stud welder to heat shrink a little bit because it was somewhat buckled. Not entirely sure if that was from blasting or just decades of abuse, but seemed to come out all right. So we're ready for a coat of filler. Really not going to be a whole lot of filler, not very thick at all, but just something to smooth out some of the imperfections. Not intending to make these entirely flat or devoid of waves, but I would like them to look nice. So that is what we're going to do here. Somewhere between show quality and amateur hour. It's kind of the goal. So we're going to get started here, start mixing up some sketchy bondo, just like the old days on an old pizza box. So we're going to get busy, and I'll tune you guys in when it looks like something. Alrighty, got our first coat on here. I used the yellow stuff where it needed to be a little bit thicker, and the blue stuff where it is a little bit thinner, so more mild dents. Decided to skim coat pretty much this whole door just because of how large the damaged area was. Again, this is not very thick at all, but just got to make it look nice. So that's what we got cooking. I'm going to let this cure up good and hard for, I don't know, what time is it? 1:30, probably about 2 o'clock I'll come in and start sanding with nothing but the finest of used sandpaper from work. So yeah, we'll get cooking on that, and I'll keep scuff sanding some other parts out in the shop. And just like that, you've got rejuvenated bondo. Yes. You can also do this with bondo that's still good and make it extra flowy, but I usually just use this as a contingency plan for making garbage work. But yeah, handy tips and tricks with Graham today. I've gone through and outlined all my little low spots. On the other doors, I probably would have pulled a bunch of these out, but at the end of the day, the dents are less than a 1/16 of an inch deep by far. I mean, this is some pretty minor stuff, so we're just gonna fill it because I really don't care. The other door, let's see, so that's one kitchen sink door, that's a cabinet door, and then the other kitchen sink door is stretched somehow or another. So I'm going to bring that into work and shrink it up a little bit. So this does it a little bit. It's a little soft. But this one is, I can live with it because this one looks alright. The other one is a little goofy looking, and it's soft like that. So we're going to bring it in and shrink her up. But short of that one, this is all the lower cabinet doors, so starting to make some headway. Alright, it is the next day. We are moving on to bigger and better things, by which I mean the exact same stuff. I got all the doors for the lower cabinets done last night. This is kind of a look at what it's supposed to look like. Bondo kind of fades out into the metal there. I mean, they're far from perfect. Most of the body work's pretty good, but the panels themselves have some gentle waves. Again, not entirely sure if that's from just years of abuse or if that's a little bit of warpage from blasting. Don't know, don't particularly care. I think they're going to look fine. So doors are all done. Moving ahead with some drawer action. The doors had some imperfection, as in some of the waves do this up towards the end where this is high and then it's like a valley here. I don't think that's going to be as visible because they're down lower, and also waves that go up and down are generally not as visible as waves that go side to side to the eye. However, we have the same thing kind of going on a couple of these here, where it dishes out like that. And seeing as it's side to side, I can't quite live with myself, so we're gonna body work it out. And the drawers are a little stiffer too, because there's not as much, open space. So theoretically, these should be a little bit easier to body work. So we've got pretty much a full skin coat on that one. That one's about halfway. This one's most of the way, and then the other one I showed already. Again, more of the same stuff. Not entirely sure why I'm even filming this. This is pretty basic stuff, but yes, that's what this will look like when it's done.